Who among us hasn't stood out in the middle of a remote wildland and gone, this is amazing. I feel amazing out here.
The computer tells them where to go. What they want to know?
Can you really get remote from human beings?
Rebecca, Skyla, and Ryan are remote footprints. Today they are leading us into the Bradwell Bay Wilderness in search of the most remote spot in Florida's Big Bend. We start on the Florida National Scenic Trail. Our time on the trail will be the easy part. However, people are known to get lost in Bradwell Bay. As you can see, it's not hard to lose sight of trailblazes in the thick of the swamp.
Once we get to a certain point on this trail, we will strike due north into the largest part of the wilderness that harbors the Bradwell Bay remote spot, and we'll see how far we can get with all of us in tow here. You know, it's challenging bringing a young person on an extended trip like this because they have their own desires and needs.
Skyla has been going remote with her parents for 7 years. Starting when Skyla was 10 months old, they've completed 33 states so far.
Ryan and I have spent a lot of our time trying to get away from humans, backpacking, and having those remote experiences. And so it really did start as us wanting to get away from people in Florida as a family adventure, right?
And so I'm thinking about this. I'm wondering, what does remote mean? Remote really means far away, right? But far away from what? Roads permeate all of our cities and all of our developments.
Once we started calculating the state remote spots, we realized how hard it was to get away from a road. This is an alarming thing that you can't get more than 2 miles from a road in quite a lot of our states.
Ryan and Rebecca define remoteness mathematically.
This is not us thinking about where remote might be and looking
Exactly.
at roads and saying this area looks remote, let's go. This is a computer program calculating the spot.
After Rebecca and the computer do their part, Ryan comes in with a map.
I recommend that we walk in from the south on the Florida Trail, and then somewhere in that swamp we'll strike a course northward toward the remote spot.
Before entering the swamp, we hike through a longleaf pine forest.
There are hundreds of species of plants out here where we're walking into the remote spot at. Well, here's a wonderful wetter area indicating plant. This is called Sweet Bay Magnolia. This is called swamp tai-tai with this raceme-shaped flowering structure. The flowers are gone now and it's gone to seed.
Somebody did that.
That looks like black bear activity right there. See the slash marks across it?
We make our way into the swamp.
What I'm seeing here on the edge of the swamp is evidence that the most recent wildfire or prescribed fire burned into the swamp and did exactly what it's supposed to do ecologically. That is, zap a lot of the tai-tai and penetrate into the swamp, open up the place a little bit, and create this eco-tone between wet areas and upland areas. Bradwell Bay Wilderness, this swampy area inside of it, the Monkey Creek Swamp, is one of the only places in our local region here in the Big Bend of North Florida where you can go see a virgin stand of timber. Behind me here is a slash pine. Beautiful example. There's a larger tree yet. This one definitely predates the logging era. We've had 2 months of sun.
Pinewood's tree frog. Yep, she's the one who saw it as she walked by. Oh, it's about to climb up on a pine tree too. Good job. Put it right back where it was. Little
Pinewoods?
Uh-huh.
We take one last break before going off trail.
All right, honey. This right here would be an optimal time to go off trail in Bradwell Bay here.
Are you saying that based on the GPS or based on what you're looking at? Because this doesn't look like a good spot to go off trail.
It all looks the same, doesn't it? I mean,
There's a big thicket right here in front of us.
well, based on our positioning here and where I know the remote spot to be due north, it would be the perfect time for us to strike out off trail.
Into the forest.
2.1 miles north of here, through all that brush, is the remote spot for Bradwell Bay.
kind of plan
Get
around.
introduced to Smilax up here.
Great.
Be careful as you go through the briars, okay? Yep.
There is something truly unique about getting out and away and remote and having nothing around you, no sounds around you like cars and people talking, and not having scenes flashing in front of you like from the television or constantly being connected on the internet. And it allows you some peace and some resting time. Oh, did you? And that's rejuvenating.
Right here, we are 1.3 miles from a road in the middle or toward the middle of Bradwell Bay Wilderness. And I'm feeling pretty remote at this location.
So even though we are a good mile from the remotest location in the Big Bend, we're still more remote in this spot than we were when we went remote in Ohio. We think it's fabulous that Skyla is going to grow up having visited the remotest location of every state in the country. I mean, that is something that nobody can say, and here she grew up doing that. Whether or not she's going to think that's cool, that could be a whole other story.
Either way, she'll have a childhood like no other. For WFSU, I'm Rob Diaz de Villegas.